All right, guys, it is time. It is the semifinals for the Arena of Legends. I am Doa. With me is Moletrap today.
Hello.
Check it out. There is what we've seen so far, basically, 4 groups of awesomeness. Man, this has been a great tournament so far. The race distribution was equal, but in the end, what we're going to see today is Terran and Zerg.
Yes,
So,
it
there you
is. And there we have the results from the first 2 groups that are going to comprise our first semifinal today. Slayers MMA beating MC and Nest T 2-0ing both of those guys to get into the semifinal, as well as MarineKing eking out a 2-1 win in the final match there against Lucira to advance out of that group as well. So MMA versus MarineKing is going to be the first semifinal.
And in Group C and Group D, in Group C, we saw Dongregu come out with the big win there. And then in Group D, we had July coming out on top as well. So that will be a ZVZ in our second semifinal today here. So that'll be pretty cool, actually. Dongregu 2-0 MVP. That was impressive. So there you go. It's going to be a TVT and a ZVZ. So we are guaranteed a Terran versus Zerg finals tomorrow. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, that's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
It's going to be really cool to see. It doesn't matter who's going to be there, actually. It's going to be a great match.
Yeah.
MMA versus Dongregu, MMA versus July, MarineKing versus Dongregu, MarineKing versus July. Any of those matches will be just fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to that.
The last Terran versus Zerg finals in any GSL event was actually Lucira versus Supernova in Code A a few seasons ago. So it's been a while. It's been a while since we've had any sort of Terran versus Zerg finals. So that'll be really, really cool. Like you said, Moletrap, however it ends up. Well, here are our players for today. There is Slayers MMA. This guy is pretty good, isn't he?
He is incredibly good. He has not lived up to some of the expectations, but he's lived up to a lot of them. I mean, he was kind of playing really well in the Team League, and everyone's like, oh, he's going to crush Code S. And he hasn't quite crushed Code S yet, but he got second in the Super Tournament, as you can see there. He destroyed MLG Columbus, and he's just been playing really, really well. He hasn't been quite the dominant level that MVP has been, but, you know, he's taking games off MVP as well. So
yeah, he's definitely up there. I would say we could put him in the ranks of maybe the top 5 Terrans in Korea, I would say so. You can see right there, too, his TVT is really good. He's got 14 wins, 7 losses in TVT right now in the GSL. Any win percentage for a player over 50% is actually really, really good. Now, there is some history between MMA and MarineKing. That's kind of interesting, as you can see there. MarineKing lost. There he is right there. MarineKing. Oh, look at that pose, by the way. He's posing like a model. He is, I guess, a model now.
Modeling his clothes there.
Now, he lost to MMA in the semifinals of the Super Tournament, actually.
Oh, yeah, I remember that now.
But he beat MMA in the up and down matches back in GSL May.
Interesting.
So, yeah, these guys definitely have some history, so this is going to be a pretty cool match between them.
Yeah, I remember MarineKing, he was so upset that he lost to MMA in the semifinals that he told his, at the time, teammate Holt how to, he gave him some builds, basically. He was so obsessed with beating MMA that he thought about it all the time. He came up with some builds that he thought would counter what had worked on him in the semifinals and told Holt how to beat him, basically. So, anyway, we're going to get started here pretty soon.
But Moletrap, I don't think you or I are in the game.
No, we haven't been invited to the game yet.
It's going to be tough to observe without being in the game. We can, imagine what's happening. You know what? I think MarineKing is going battle cruisers.
That's right.
Right.
We can do the first game without extra camera.
I don't know, man. MarineKing's TVT, it's sometimes a little bit suspect. It's as you can see from the screen there, he doesn't really have the best record. Only 35% wins. Now, the thing to keep in mind, though, is that a lot of what we need to keep in mind with that is a lot of those games were against MVP in various finals.
Yeah.
So,
all right, let's go ahead and get into Game 1. Let's see what happens at the Arena of Legends.
Yes. All right, well, we are in the game now, and as you can see, on the right side of the map, we have our Terran player from the team Slayers. In the yellow, he is Slayers MMA. And over on the left side of the map, we have our blue Terran from the team Prime.we. It is MarineKing. So, starting out on dual site. Interesting map for TVT. You know, the Marine tank thing has really been making a comeback, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, since the patch, since the Blue Flame Hellions don't do quite as much damage to Marines, it's become a little bit more viable to have Marines, and so Marine tank has been the strategy of the day, and I felt lately when I've watched Terran versus Terran, I felt lately like I've been watching games from 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah, that's
3 or 4 months ago,
because
it used to be all Marine tank versus Marine tank. And the thing is when one player goes Marine tank, now you kind of have to go Marine tank against it, in a way.
Well, we'll see. I feel like to a certain extent we're seeing that little resurgence of Marine tank because players are kind of practicing right now, trying to figure out where the Hellion sort of stands in TVT after the patch change. But I have this feeling that in maybe a month or so, maybe even less than that, we're going to actually see mech come back. I feel like mech is really the future of TVT, so I think this Marine tank thing is kind of a temporary resurgence. It's always going to kind of be around, like bio is always kind of going to be around, but I think mech is going to end up again being the dominant strategy in this matchup.
Yeah,
but time will tell.
Be. Yeah. So and we do have both players going for. I kind of half expected one player to go for some kind of command center first, even though it is a 2-player map.
It's MarineKing, so you know he's either going to go command center first or one Rax gas. Let's expand. So you're going to see one of those.
There you go. Really MMA has gotten his gas, however, so he might actually transition into. Well, he could just be for an early add-on and maybe getting upgrades as well.
Yeah, you never quite know. Yep.
There's a bunker going down, actually. That's
interesting. That's a very early bunker from MMA. I wonder why that's interesting. I wonder what he saw to maybe make him think to make that bunker so early. That's not normally something we see here. Now, MarineKing putting on 2 gas right away, so he's not going to go ahead and do like the 3 more barracks after the first one if you do that. You see a lot of players do that in the 1 Rax gasless expand, but yeah. MarineKing going for some tech. And MMA just looks like he doesn't want to have to make a lot of Marines, basically, to defend the front. I mean, I'm thinking that could be the point of the bunker, that he can save those minerals and use them for something else, possibly in the near future here.
Yeah, that's...
He's still making Marines.
I still feel it's a little strange, though, because you would have expected him to maybe get the command center down first and then put up some defenses.
I think by doing that,
but
well, no, that's just a really early bunker. That's weird because I was like, well, maybe he can get his factory out a little bit earlier, but he can't because he spent the 100 minerals on the bunker anyway. That's 2 Marines.
I don't know.
So I don't know.
Maybe he just smelled some cheese in the air or something,
must have been
and
worried
he
about
wanted
something.
to be really safe. He thought MarineKing was going to try and cheese him in the first game.
I guess so. I don't know. Well, it doesn't really hurt anything. Doesn't slow you down too much, so we won't worry about it a whole lot, I guess. MMA being pretty active with his SCVs as well, kind of scouting around the map here.
That's interesting. We do have MarineKing getting a factory and reactor on his barracks. Probably going to, I would imagine, follow that up with a starport pretty quickly.
That's possible. Otherwise, there is a starport right there. I was going to say, otherwise, there has been quite a few occasions lately, too, where Terrans have been doing a sort of reactor and Hellion opening as well. So
that's true.
Yep. Well, that's not something you see quite as often with the gasless expand. But.
And it looks like we do have a tech lab on that factory as well, so we're probably going to see him transitioned into Banshees, I would imagine. Both players do have their command centers up. We did see MarineKing scan. He didn't see the command center for MMA, though. I don't think he saw the tech either, so I don't think that scan actually helped at all.
Interesting. It's like both of these guys deciding to do some Banshee play.
He's got It looks like he's got a flashlight in his hands.
Oh, he did.
Little gold minerals.
You can like explore haunted houses with that.
Yeah.
Sneak around. Oh, both players going for cloaked Banshees. All right, well, this is going to be interesting.
All right.
They should both have enough Marines to kind of maybe deal with that a little bit, but it's one of those situations where if one player gets a mule instead of a scan, the game could basically end right there, so...
It's really interesting. Usually, it used to be that if you saw a bunker at the front, it would often indicate Banshees because you would want to have defenses in case they attacked you while you were teching up. But this isn't this is an expansion into Banshees. Like they got a command center first. So it's not like a Banshee rush. So it's really kind of an interesting build here. I haven't seen it very much before.
Well, even with that, normally you don't get the bunker until a little bit later too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Just felt like he needed it, I guess. First Banshee is coming out right now for MMA. First one is already out for MarineKing. Moving across the map, as you can see, and it doesn't look like the Banshees are going to run into each other, so it may be a bit of a mystery until they show up in just a moment here. Looks like MarineKing's Banshee is going to get there a little bit quicker. Waiting for one of these players to make a Viking, too. And the Banshee for MarineKing coming in here, and there are some Marines for MMA, but does he have enough scans? That's the question. He doesn't have one on that command center. Oh, yep. Nice Banshee micro by MarineKing there.
Very good. He's getting a lot of kills here.
Yeah.
First tank is out already for MMA as well.
It doesn't look like MMA has a scan right now, so this is going to do a decent amount of damage. Here comes the Banshee for MMA, though. He's got a lot of catching up to do, though.
Yep. He's shift-clicked some SCVs there. He cloaks, but he needs to be careful if those Marines get too close. The scan goes off. The Marines pick it out of the air before it does very much damage at all, whereas this Banshee has a ton of kills on it. Looks like 15 kills on that Banshee. Unfortunately, he decides to fly right on top of the Marines when he's about to run out of energy.
A little bit sloppy by MMA, though. MarineKing is just doing a really good job with this Banshee. That's got 18 kills right now. It is Captain Banshee now. Oh, now it has 17. Never mind, that was 16.
Hard to tell on this monitor, unfortunately.
Well, ever since Diablo 2, I've gotten like 8s and 6s mixed up in Blizzard games. I don't know what it is, but
and the scan goes off for MarineKing. And does not get MMA's Banshee, the second one. He got that first one pretty easily.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, more Banshees doing damage. And I mean, right now, both of these guys, their economies are hurt a little bit there. Oh, man. But MMA definitely hurting a lot more. He's lost 2 Banshees already. MarineKing has not lost a single one.
Yeah, and he's gotten so many more kills with these Banshees. I mean, look at that unfinished bunker just sitting there.
Yeah.
That's the story of this game, man. He's just been losing everything, and he can't defend.
Oh, he even gets the tank. Well, the thing is with all of this is that MarineKing is going to be able to make a yeah. MMA knew, man. He knew. So GG, because what was going to happen there, what I was about to say is that MMA knew that at that point, MarineKing was just going to make a follow-up push and kill him. That was about it. So that is the end of Game 1. Slayers MMA falling in Game 1 to MarineKing Prime. I mean, that's kind of what I said a little bit earlier. I'm like, one player doesn't have a scan. That's kind of the end of the game there. So hopefully, you can jump to the next game, Mole Trap, so we can do a little bit of our own inserting and looking around here.
Get into that. But yeah, very interesting, and it really does just come down to the control there. They both went for almost exactly the same build, and MarineKing controlled his Banshees better, and his Marines better. MMA was not able to match it, basically. His Banshees didn't do any damage.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was. I mean, usually we do see a little bit better control out of MMA for that. That's kind of the surprise there for me, is that he would lose 2 Banshees like that. He would kind of miss-scan a little bit, miss MarineKings. But, you know, it does happen. It's only Game 1, so got some time.
Yep, only Game 1. So we're going to get underway on Game number 2. Remember, the loser is able to pick the map for the next game, and MMA has picked Crossfire.
That's an interesting choice. Oh, I wonder what he has planned for that.
Another 2-player map.
Yep.
Wants to know exactly where MarineKing is without having to scout.
Very different 2-player map, though. Very long and narrow. Not a lot of room. Might feel a bit claustrophobic if you're a wider unit like a Thor. I don't know. And
you know, it's going to be position's going to be really important if it doesn't turn out to be Marine tank play in this game because of the fact that there's all those ramps and such. We're going to get into game number 2 here in just a moment. We're going to find out if MMA can play a little bit better and tie it up with MarineKing, or if MarineKing can take a 2-0 lead here at the Arena of Legends.